9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
What's good, y'all? Hey, listen, Marcus. I don't know where you streaming from or recording from, but what they did, bro, they got you on silent mode for some reason. So I'm gonna need you to make sure that that you're not on another planet. Because every time I catch up with you, man, you jet set and you there, man. Like this is remarkable, bro. What you've been creating with this tech that you have.
Man, that's my thing, man. That's my jam, man. Like the backgrounds, the graphics, all that. I'm messing around with something now. Just like I'm an anime fan. I'm still a gamer. I don't game as much as I could, but I still love anime to this day. Ghost in the Shell, Princess Mononoke, heck, Steam Boy. Steam Boy was gorgeous, but it was boring as hell. But I still loved it.
Yeah, Steam Boy was that's a classic because of what it did for animation. Like it was something that was unprecedented.
Yeah,
but it was slow.
Even the one that people really don't talk about a lot, but it was excellent, was the Animatrix.
Yo, people don't talk about that.
Was nasty, bro.
The Animatrix was something that completely shifted like what we expected from film and not taking themselves too seriously. Animatrix was supposed to be like a bridge, I believe, between Reloaded and Evolutions, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. And if you watched it, every movie kind of told a story.
Yeah.
So it made sense, man. But yeah, I've been an anime fan, shoot, man, since I was like, I want to say like 7, 8 years old, back when 1978 Ninja Team Gotcha Man first came to the United States. You know it as G-Force or Saber Riders or other iterations of it. But heck, even going back to the Johnny Quest days, like people, like I'm such a nerd to the point of people don't realize like Johnny Quest is like an OG.
Yeah,
right?
that's a classic Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Classic.
But this is what people don't realize. Johnny Quest, if I'm not mistaken, was the first or one of the first cartoons where they actually kill people on screen.
I never thought about that.
They would race Bannon. There's a scene in I think one of the first episodes where, of course, Johnny's in trouble and Race is trying to save the day, but there's a bad guy around a corner with a machine gun, and right in front of the corner of the building is a bulldozer. So Race shoots the pusher of the bulldozer and ricochets and hits the dude, and the dude falls dead on camera. Obviously, you don't see any blood or anything, but
right.
That one, the episode with the Yeti is one of my favorite episodes because the Yeti was taking folks out of there.
Dog,
man.
See, I grew up watching a lot of the classic Hanna-Barberas because I grew up when they had the channel Boomerang when they were showing all the classics.
But even Boomerang showed a lot of them that had already been edited. Like if you could go back and see,
you're talking about, oh damn, so they double back and wow.
If you can go back and watch G-Force, the original Battle of the Planets, and how many characters got killed on that show. when they would get on the Zoltor's ship or whatever, and they would start battling all the minions and all the red shirts, folks was getting up out of there. They was dropping bombs, grenades. The dude Mark had like this mechanical thing. It was a boomerang he would throw that turned into a hawk, and it would always come back to him. But he would take like 3 or 4 people out, kill them, and I was like,
That's
all
how
this
it
was on
is.
screen.
That's how it is. If you watch the original Gundam, like the original Gundam movie,
yeah.
people die in that.
Absolutely.
If you really lock in, listen, we can go down this rabbit hole all day.
Yeah, and I will dive head first in that one, bro.
Listen, we don't want to bore y'all with with our nerddom, our fandom. You know what I'm saying? But let's get to why y'all really came here, man.
Great Weekend, yes. I did watch Mighty Max. One of the best written cartoons ever.
I never heard of Mighty Max. I gotta do my
Mighty
research.
Max was one of the here I go. You done got me down. Mighty Max was one of the few cartoons that actually had a last episode.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of cartoons get axed before they really could tie everything up.
He had Max had a last episode. Tim Curry, the great Tim Curry, voiced the
Tim Curry.
What was the villain's name? Green. Was it the Overlord?
Tim Curry.
The dude kind of remind you of what was the Harry Potter villain? This was before
Voldemort.
He remind you of Voldemort because he was like Skullmaster was his name. Skullmaster.
Skullmaster.
He didn't have he had the stone face. He didn't have no nose, so he reminded you of Voldemort. But Mighty Max, because I watched Mighty Max from beginning to end. That was one of the few cartoons in that era. Mighty Max, I believe, was 90s, 2000s, something like that. But where they actually had a last episode where everything that was going, and it basically, because it was like a time travel show, it all looped back to the beginning. But when it looped back to the beginning on that last episode, he realized who he was and what he was supposed to do. So, dude, don't get me started.
That's what I'm saying. Then I'll start talking about Yu Yu Hakusho, and then I'll get in my bag really. So I don't want to bore y'all with that. But listen, you guys have been phenomenal these past few days. You guys have been phenomenal throughout the past few weeks because you guys have had to put up with a lot. They've had to put up with a lot. They've had to put up with a lot of my angst, Marcus, and especially you. So first and foremost, I want to commend you and I want to thank you for remaining patient with me over these past 4 weeks because it's been heavy, weighing on my spirit. But y'all know the vibes, y'all know the energy. He's Marcus Thomas. I'm Tony just the second. This is the Bald Eagles podcast. You guys know how we give it up. You know what I mean? Make sure you guys go subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. Marcus Thomas does an amazing job covering your Philadelphia Eagles and some on Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you guys also go like it on Chalk It Up Sports. Really do appreciate the love. You guys are phenomenal again. So let's get into it, man. Let's talk about what happened on Sunday.
Yeah.
Right. Let's start there. And the Eagles managed to take care of business 31-0 against a very, 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 very bad Las Vegas Raiders team. Now, I think it's important that while still giving this team their flowers, because they did exactly what they were supposed to do, I think it's important we put it into context because me personally, I'm not quite ready to say, oh, the Eagles are back. I'm not ready to say that yet. But what I am willing to say is that's what you're supposed to do when you face a team that has no business being on the same field as you. And it showed me that they know how to play above the competition. They know how to they still know how to do their job.
Correct.
Right? All is not lost. If they would have allowed the Raiders to make that a game, then there's no reason why we should talk about this team going anywhere beyond the wild card round. Let's just call it. But because they did what they did, and also I think it was really important for us to see how they did it. I know prior to the game you said, "Listen, just win, forget the style points," right? And I don't want to say that without context, right? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but in essence, you were saying, "Let's just get the win, move on, take care of business." And my perspective was, Marcus, after what's been going on the past 3 weeks, I need style points against this bad team. I need them to show out and show that they can be consistently dominant this whole football game all three phases, and I think they did just that. So I do have more to say, but I want to get your perspective. I don't want to monopolize the time here. So based on what you saw in that game, just walk me through the ebbs and flows you experienced on watching Eagles beat the Raiders 31-0.
While I was watching the game, basically I was just sitting there like, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, bounced outside. Good job. Like I'm co-signing everything that's going on. Like, okay, coming across the middle. Okay, I like the drag with Dallas Goedert. Okay, shovel pass with Dallas Goedert. Oh, Dallas Goedert, why you drop that, man? Damn, Jalen, why you hit him in the hands? Like, I'm watching it and I'm like, this is what we're supposed to see. And then, of course, my question is, how come we couldn't see this before? And this is when I kind of lean back into, like I've been saying, player execution failure. It was there. And we didn't make the catch. We didn't stay on sides. We didn't hold the block. We didn't see the open receiver. We didn't catch the ball. We didn't get our hands on the pick. It was always something. And this, with the exception of the second Giants game, this is the only other game where we were 3 for 3. Offense, defense, special team. We were 3 for 3. Mm-hmm. Every other game has been 2 for 3 or 1 for 3. Even some of the ones we won, we were 1 for 3. It was only one side of the ball that was holding the end of the bargain. So that's what I want to see. Yes, I want to see him dominate. The goose egg is phenomenal because the defense earned it, but the defense has always been that good. And that's why you never get too high, you never get too low. Everybody was ripping and raving when Chicago ran all over us. Everybody get a turn. And what did I say? The pendulum has to come back, has to swing back the other side. Eventually it has to. So you got to let these things play out. And as bad as much vitriol as everybody was throwing Kevin Patullo, and I've even said it, some of his decisions, in my opinion, were not the best as far as the scheme and how you call in the game.
They were flat out confusing. They didn't really have a rhyme or reason. They lacked. They looked uninspired.
It was a fair criticism. However, I also said you can take a bad plan, and if you execute it the way it's supposed to be executed, you can still be successful. And that's where we were failing. The people on the field. Kevin Patullo does not drop passes. Kevin Patullo does not hold blocks. Kevin Patullo didn't jump off sides. He didn't fumble. He didn't hold. He didn't miss an open receiver. He didn't take a bad sack. He didn't do any of those things.
That also says Kevin Patullo. That also says Kevin Patullo didn't give them an edge either.
That's true. But what kind of edge are we looking for? Because think about it. When we won the Super Bowl, we had some of these same gripes with Kellen Moore. I bitched him on about how we weren't running the ball correctly all year, and Saquon still got 2,000 yards. All year. Why don't we run Saquon outside? How come we can't get him outside more? They got to get the ball outside. I said the same thing last year. So what that tells me is, and I said the same thing with DeAndre Swift. I said the same thing with Miles Sanders. So what that tells me is that is a Nick Sirianni offense because he's the constant. Kevin Patullo is a variable now. He's an X factor. Kellen Moore was an X factor.
It's a good point. That's a good way to lay that out right there. He's the constant, and everybody else have become variables. In particular, when it comes to
you just find the best way to. It's like borrowing somebody else's car. It ain't your car, but you figure out the best way to drive it. Don't tap on the brakes. The brakes is tight. The brakes is sensitive. All right, you need a tune-up because when I mash the gas, it don't pick up right away. You got to give it time. You got to ease into it. You figure out what it is you're operating, and then you figure out the best way to do that. That's what Kevin Patullo is. Now, in that, some of his decisions were suspect. That's a fair criticism. But ultimately, we got to hold the blocks. To me, it still comes down to what our offensive line was and was not doing. To me, the long and short of it is the struggles on our offensive line when it comes to run blocking. Because we couldn't run block, we couldn't get Saquon going, and because we couldn't get a run game going, that pigeonholed us and wasn't nobody going for play action. Now we have some semblance of success running the ball with Jalen under center, and now everything has changed.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was really important to me, at least. The thing that stuck out the most in that football game as it pertains to offensive production execution was Jalen Hurts' involvement in the run game. You
Yes.
saw when Jalen Hurts is involved in the run game in some shape, way, or form, when they're intentional about it, and when he's intentional about it, there's they win the math problem there.
Yes.
Right? You have a +1. Whereas though if Jalen Hurts is not involved, now it's equal. But
Yes.
Jalen Hurts' running ability is that X factor, which opens things up for everyone else, and it gives the opposing defenses, especially the linebackers, it gives them something else that they have to account for. And when you make it a point to establish that in the football game, and you're successful, especially in key spots, even if it's 5 yards there, 8 yards there, 10 yards there. Jalen Hurts ran the ball 7 times. His longest run of the day was 13 yards. Saquon Barkley, 22 carries, 78 yards, averaged 3.5 yards a carry, 1 touchdown. His longest run of the day, 17 yards. I mean, look, this team had 183 rushing yards on 47 carries. They averaged 3.9 yards per carry. Now, at face value, you look at that and say, well, they just ran the ball a lot. They didn't really run the ball well. I would disagree with that.
I would too.
Because part of having a run game isn't just about cranking out 10, 15, 20, 30 yards every single time. That's not really feasible. That's not really realistic, right? And of course, if that happens, that happens. You can always take it. But having a running game that can get you through a football game and it's reliable, is a running game that can keep you on schedule. And I think that's what stood out the most in that game. The running game kept them on schedule, and they popped here and there, but they popped at the right spots.
Correct.
I was listening to Shady talk about this, and I know a lot of people they're not really feeling Shady right now because of how they feel like he flip-flops with the Eagles fan base or whatever. But he said, listen, having a good running game isn't just about popping 20, 30 every single time. You gotta pop when you need to. You gotta be able to pop when you need to and just stay on schedule. Can you keep the offense on schedule as a running game? And Saquon Barkley, his longest run of the day, 17 yards. Tank Bigsby, longest run of the day, 13 yards. Bigsby also gave you 17 carries, 57 yards on the ground as well. Averaged over 3 yards a carry. Jalen Hurts, 7 carries, 39 yards. Averaged over 5 yards a carry.
And you know what's important about 13 yards.
Say it again.
You know what's the important point about Jalen? Jalen ran less than 10 times.
Yes, and was potent with the opportunities.
Yes. So the point is, it doesn't take for him to have 15 carries to get the point across.
It's about breaking their back. It's about breaking their back at that moment where they least expect it.
You just make them think about it.
Yeah,
that's all you got to do. All it takes is 1 or 2 runs, and then they're on notice for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think he had that one run where he ran up the middle, got the first down. Lowered the shoulder a bit. He didn't really get hit too hard, but he ate one.
Right.
That forces just a run like that. If you can move if you can move the chains with your legs, that automatically changes how they're approaching you.
Absolutely,
automatically, right? And I think overall, this was the kind of game where you had to get back to who you were. What I saw in this game, I saw a team, an offense rather. I saw an offense I actually recognized. And I saw an offense that came out with an agenda, a plan.
Yeah.
And they weren't going to be moved off that plan. But above all else, you said it, they executed. The only, in my opinion, the one misfire on offense was Dallas Goedert's drop.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. There was a couple plays now. There was a couple of tackles for losses on Saquon. I remember one play in particular. Cam Jurgens, I don't know if he stepped with the wrong foot. I don't know what he did, but he let the dude cross his face, and the dude damn near got the handoff. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? So even against the Raiders, we still had some a couple of plays where I'm like, come on, y'all gotta be better than this. And it's not. To me, it seems like it's not. Doesn't matter who the competition is. You just either your technique is bad, either you forgot to play. Because I refuse to believe that you let the nose tackle go across your face and you don't touch him.
And the Raiders have not been good in the trenches.
No. So that's
as a unit.
I don't know if that's a mental thing. And when I say mental, I mean like you didn't know to play, you forgot what you were supposed to do, whatever. But I'm like, there's no way that man should cross your face and damn near get the handoff. There's no way. So we're still doing stuff like that, which concerns me. But again, if I'm watching tape and I can see that, that means they can see it too. And I refuse to believe that that Stoutland is not going over this. Like, because to me, it's got to be a reason. Because Stoutland has been too good for too long to all of a sudden, like, why aren't you not seeing this problem?
How frustrated do you think Stoutland is right now?
He got to be very frustrated. But my frustration comes with the territory. That's part of the gig. But my problem is, how come you're not making a move? Brett Toth should have been started at center, either just to shut Cam Jurgens down for a game or whatever. But the way he was playing, in my opinion, you got to get better production than that. And if he's not doing it, you got to figure out the problem.
Well, AJ Jones said it right here. AJ Jones said, unless you're hurt and can't move like you want to move. And I don't. That man is not healthy.
No, he can't be. And
I don't think he's 70%.
Grit doesn't count.
It don't.
That's great that you're gritty and you're tough and you get in and you play and your leg is hanging off. But if you're getting beat every series, I don't want you in the game.
Yeah.
Put somebody else in there that can get it done until you get healthy and you can get back to your Pro Bowl level of play. Because that's what we need, especially going into playoffs. Because I'm not trying to go to Cancun early.
At all.
At
all. But again, we saw what we needed to see from this offense overall from an execution perspective. Execution, based on everything you laid out as well. Execution, you probably got to give them a B+, A- on execution.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've still put up 31 points, all offense. But dropping the ball in the end zone by Dallas Goedert, the miscues on the offensive line. Because you're right, there were moments when Saquon got nothing or a loss of 1 because guys cut through. So you got to acknowledge those moments. And good teams aren't going to let you off the hook the way the Raiders did. There were moments in the game where I felt like, okay, they're playing a really bad football team. But at the same time, and I said this to you, I think I said this on my live stream after the game, and then I texted to you because I feel like these shows starting to copy my steez, man. I feel like that. Like I told you guys, and a lot of you guys can attest to this. I ain't hear nobody say this until
you said it.
Until I said it. This was the kind of game where all you needed to do was see the ball go in the hoop. When you watch basketball, sometimes the game don't start off the way you expect. Maybe you 1 for 6. Maybe you 3 for 12 in the first half. It's just not falling. And or if you're a shooter, if you're a wing player, and your job is just to shoot threes and play defense, and you 0 for 4 to start the game from the corner, you just got to see the ball going once.
One time.
You just got to see it go in. It don't matter. Shooter's going to shoot. So you just got to see the ball go in. And I think this was that game for not just the offense, but this was that kind of game for Jalen Hurts. You just had to see the ball go in the hoop. And Jalen Hurts, this was the perfect way, in my opinion, to, like you said, for the pendulum to kind of swing back. Now, granted, I say this. I don't think they're back quite yet. I don't. I'm not ready to say that because the running game is still, or the offensive line is still doing what they're doing, or not, or lack thereof. We talk about this all the time. It's not a Saquon problem because every time Saquon gets space, he takes it. So, and we know Tank Bigsby, he has a pop to him as well. There was a clear intention to get Bigsby more involved with the game plan as well, and also in the passing game, I saw a team that was just getting the ball to the open guy. Just drop back, read, get it out. Let your guys make a play, right? I've seen people say, "Well, this is what happens when you don't force the ball to AJ Brown." I don't buy into that narrative per se. You know, I do think it was happenstance that AJ had his 3 best games of the season, but they lost. I don't want to act like that's everything.
Yeah, because in my opinion, there's only been one game where we quote unquote forced the ball to AJ. Any other time he was open.
Correct.
Let's stop playing. He's still the number one option. He is progression 1. So let's not forget that. And with the exception of that, was that the Denver game?
Yeah,
they were trying to force 5-yard hitches to him and stuff like that.
Yeah. That was Devontae's. One of his best games of the year.
Yeah, that's what he wasn't. He just wasn't open, and Jalen was trying to force him the ball. But any other time, AJ is open.
Yeah, and
always open.
And ultimately, when you got a guy that talented, same thing with Devontae Smith. When you got guys that talented, your job is to get them the ball. Get them the ball. Your offense is better when they touch the rock. It's very simple to understand. So I don't buy into forcing the ball to your number one. He's your number one. I don't buy into that narrative. Now, I think one thing I noticed in this game on that 27-yard touchdown pass from Hurts to AJ.
Yeah.
Where was AJ lined up, Marcus? Where was he lined up?
He was on the slot at the he was the left slot, right?
Bingo. He was in a slot.
Yeah.
And you just
he
saw
got
him.
He
split that cover 2 like that.
Any young receivers listening, watch that play because it's textbook. What you do is you attack the outside shoulder, which forces the DB to open up just a little bit. And that way it makes it easier for you to cut underneath it. And once he made that cut and went underneath and had the inside lane, he had 3 people beat. The guy on the opposite side couldn't get back in time. And he was in between 2 guys that couldn't recover, couldn't make up enough space quick enough.
That was
and Jalen put the ball where it needed to be.
Perfect. AJ didn't have to do nothing extra.
Now
all he had to do
when I saw his hands like this, I got nervous.
He almost dropped that.
Nervous. You always catch it with thumbs together. But, he hauled it in and we got 6 on it.
He almost dropped it, but you saw when he got it, he was like,
he cradled it.
He said, "Hold on, baby, I can't drop this one."
The only time you basket catch a ball is if it's over your head. Any other time, it's on the side. You get them thumbs together. That's it. If it's over your head or if it's down by your ankles, then you gotta catching a line drive at shortstop.
Yeah, I gotta see. I gotta see the coaches take the all 22 from the behind the line of scrimmage. I want to see if that ball went over his shoulder or if it went parallel to him. Because if it went over his shoulder, then I understand it. If it went
on the
parallel
touchdown,
to him, yeah,
no, because the ball was in front of him. The ball was to his right.
Right. I guess I'm trying to figure out, was it over his right shoulder and he did that, or could he have turned his, because he was running towards his right. He split the cover 2 running towards right. He would have had to twist a little bit more. But
he may have got some hand play, but when he put his hands up, I believe AJ Brown is right-handed. So that means his dominant hand was on the bottom. And you really, the only way you can do it is if you put your dominant hand on top. So if I'm running to the right and I'm looking back this way over my right shoulder, which is how he caught the ball, because he caught the ball like this over his shoulder, going to the inside, right? So he catches it like this, but the proper way to do it is you looking back and you can still grab it like that. So, we're nitpicking. He called it.
Of course. Yeah. Look,
Dallas Goedert actually dropped the pass that hit him in the head.
No,
AJ Brown didn't. So let's stop the conversation right now.
Jalen should have had 4 touchdown passes in that game.
He should have. Absolutely.
And Goedert should have had 3. He dropped a layup. He got cute.
That was, in my opinion, that was worse than the one that Saquon did.
Yeah.
That was worse than Saquon's.
Yeah, you don't get no more open than that. That shit was, and then Jalen just tossed it up. All he had to do was catch it.
Yeah, he didn't put no zip on it.
He put no zip on it
out there.
He just, and then one thing I love about Jalen Hurts' game, Jalen Hurts throws one of the most catchable balls. That's one of the things they talk about him. Like he throws a very catchable ball. So overall, I liked what I saw from the offense. Everybody was on time. Of course, there's no football game without its errors or its nitpicks. So I'm not going to kill them for anything. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They dominated a terrible team, and it showed me that they're capable of answering the call. Because I think somebody brought it up in the chat. I can't remember who it was, but they brought up the fact that, the 2023 season where people like to compare this to, they said that Cardinals team that everybody thought the Eagles were going to beat, they ended up having only 3 wins on the season, and the Cardinals beat them.
Yep.
So, although it's important to put context around this victory and outline the fact that the Raiders are arguably the worst team in football, it's important to understand that you still got to show up against that team because they're pros.
You got to play who's in front of you.
They're pros. And if you give them daylight, if you give them confidence, then that changes how they play completely.
You play down to their competition. That's what you don't want to do. And a lot of teams do that. A lot of good teams do that. We did that. So I'm glad they handled business. They put their foot on their neck. When's the last time we had our backups playing in the whole fourth quarter?
Yeah, that was
the whole fourth quarter was mop-up duty.
Yeah. So,
and we got a goose egg.
Yeah, that game was a huge confidence booster all the way around. It's the kind of win that just makes you say, okay, we're not as bad as I think. we're not as bad as they say we are. You know what I mean?
It's a little more complicated than this. Yeah. But the games that we lost was a series of unfortunate events. And it was always a play here, a play there. But you say that.
And to your point about that, it was a stretch where it was their least productive stretch from a scoring perspective in the past 10 years. And also, it was a stretch where they turned the ball over more than they did all year. So when you couple the inability to score with the fact that you're turning the ball over at an alarming rate, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
And the fact that you were still able to win those games just tells me, like, yo, get your head out of your ass. Like, come on. Y'all better than this. So when I look at every one of those games, Dallas, not even a conversation. We're going to talk about that because I told you they were going to lose. Chicago, they're talented, they're elevating, but they're unproven. And they could possibly be one and done in the playoffs. Not because they're bad, but because you got to know, once you get there, you got to know how to play those games. It's all about matchups and so on and so forth. And then also, I don't think Caleb Williams has proven himself to be truly consistent at the position quite yet.
Not yet. He needs another.
But he has a running game. He's getting better.
Yeah,
I don't want to take nothing away from him.
Caleb Williams' second year.
Right. I don't want to take that away from him.
Time when Eberflus out of there.
Exactly. So all I'm trying to say is, I look at these past 3 games and I'm like, y'all completely gave the opponents life, opportunity, a reason to be confident, and you still had a chance to win those games. So
you know what's funny? Who's the number 1 ranked quarterback in the league right now?
By word of mouth, Matthew Stafford.
Who's number 1 in passing yards?
Well, passing yards. Let me double check that. That's a good question. I don't. It's so funny. I don't check the stats as the year goes. I don't
know,
care.
And I'm asking this on purpose because this is gonna go right back to.
And you're funny.
Exactly.
Dak Prescott.
Long ball is overrated, y'all.
How
long have I been telling you that? But everybody want to believe all these media heads and all these fools on television who don't watch all of the games. They get paper shoveled in front of them by their production team and interns. They don't watch the games. They don't watch the tapes. The long ball is overrated. Win the games. We don't need style points. We just need to win. This is how Jalen Hurts has been winning games. This is how he's been winning games. Keep doing that. Why are we stopping? Because somebody said Jalen needs to throw the ball 38 times? Do what got you there.
Yeah.
Now they know.
Yeah. Sidebar: Matthew Stafford gonna win MVP. You know that, right?
Yeah, he gonna win MVP. But let's see. He can have it.
No, for
Josh
sure.
Allen can have
for
it.
sure. He can have it.
Lamar Jackson can have it. Long as I get that ring, bro. Because they ain't none of them. Matthew Stafford's got one, but ain't nobody else got one. I'll give him that. He made it to the promised land.
Sure did.
When he finally got out of Detroit.
Right. First year he got out of there.
First year out of there.
That had to be vindicating.
Yeah, and Jared Goff can't get back. Jared Goff lost it with the Rams. Stafford won it with the Rams.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting, man. It's funny. I'm looking at some of these stats. This has been like a down. I don't think quarterback play has been that as.
It hasn't been great.
Quarterback play hasn't been as elite as we're used to seeing it.
It hasn't been great.
It's been spotty at best. It's been up and down. Like guys have a fantastic game here, there, right? I'm not saying guys have been terrible, but it just hasn't been. I think I personally think quarterback play has been down this season. Regardless, though, good game by the offense. They did what they were supposed to do. Briefly want to talk about the defense. BG, man. Oldest player in Eagles history to record a sack. Two of them. He got two of them, though.
Two of them. And they were real from defensive tackle.
They were very real. He only had 7 snaps. He only had 7 snaps in that game.
Yeah.
And every time he was on the field, it either was a sack or incompletion.
Making the most of it. Making the most of it, man. And can I say one more thing?
Please.
One last thing about Jalen Hurts.
Say plenty.
One last thing about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, I'm trying to see here. Uh-oh. Jalen Hurts with not the Raiders game, but the Chargers game. 4 interceptions in one fumble, 5 turnovers in one game.
Mm-hmm.
And he still only has 6 picks for the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the season. So if it wasn't for that one game, he would probably be like 3. So again, when everybody wants to jump off the handle talking about how do you commit 2 turnovers in one play and all of that type of stuff, and I'm like, again, if y'all would have watched the game, you would have saw it. It's not hard to figure out. So again, with the narratives, beware of moving goalposts. They are dangerous.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%, man. Do your job, win the game, because ultimately, you say it all the time. Once some playoffs start, your record don't matter.
Don't matter.
You got to show up that day.
Who's the best team on any given Sunday?
Right now, how you've been playing coming into it matters, but that record doesn't really mean anything, because I'm looking at the standings right now for the conference in terms of the playoff race, and with everything the Eagles have endured, they're the 3rd seed, and they win one more game, or the Cowboys lose one more game, whatever happens first. The division, you're going to be the first repeat. You're going to be the first repeat champion in the division in over 20 years. So, but even besides, which is a crazy stat, but even besides that, right? At this rate, at worst, you're going to be the 3rd seed if you keep pace, because I highly doubt the Eagles drop more than one of these games coming up. If they lose any one of these games, it could be the Bills, but I think the Bills are beatable.
Are we in Buffalo? Is that in Buffalo or is that here?
I think that's in Buffalo, because we got a 2-game road trip. We're going to Washington this weekend, and we're going to Buffalo. Okay. So it's going to be in Buffalo, and depending on the weather, man, because I don't know what's coming up on the weather, but Buffalo, it gets tricky there from a weather perspective. But the Eagles at worst right now are going to be the 3rd seed at worst. Now, if you ask me, I think that number 1 seed may be just out of reach because of what happened these past 3 games. they really dropped 3 in a row. And technically, they're numerically they still have a chance to get the number 1 seed, but I have a hard time believing the Rams lose 3 straight and just lose that spot. I have a hard time believing that. They got the Seahawks on the road, they got the Falcons on the road, then they got the Cardinals. Now, granted, they did lose to the Panthers, but these past 2 games they put up over 40 points, so their offense is humming right now. The past 4 games they put up 31 points or more. The past 4 games, and they're 3-1. Their offense is clicking right now. But they got Seahawks on the road, Falcons on the road, then they got Cardinals, which is a divisional game. So we will see what happens with the Rams. But honestly, I don't think the Eagles necessarily need the number 1 seed. Because remember last season, right? Here's where things get interesting. Because when you factor in everything that they've gone through, and again, I say, at worst, they're going to be the 3rd seed. When you factor in everything they've gone through this year, the injuries on the offensive line, the inconsistent play on the offensive line, the inconsistencies of the run game, the inconsistencies overall of the offense, new coordinator, maybe top 5, top 3 hardest schedule in the league, no consecutive home games whatsoever. You played damn near every single team that you're going to potentially see in the playoffs. I want to say, make sure I got this right here. I want because I really want to do it justice. When you look at their schedule, so far they've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the games they've played have been playoff teams.
Yeah.
8 out of their 14 games played this season have been playoff teams from last season. So you've had to really go up against some real tough competition. You took care of business against key opponents when it comes to tiebreaker and seeding. You beat Green Bay, you beat the Lions, you beat the Rams, right? You beat Tampa Bay, right? You own the tiebreaker over those teams. Granted, you lost to Chicago, but because Chicago is in the same division as the Packers, we don't really have to worry about them from a seeding perspective.
Right.
But when you factor all that I told you, and you're coming off of a Super Bowl win, and at best, you can end the season 12-5, and let's just say you end up with the 2nd seed. Remember last year, they went into the playoffs 14-3 record with the 2nd seed.
Yep.
So when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, the record don't matter. What's your seed? They were the 2nd seed last year, and at worst, they may be the 3rd this year, and at best, they could be the 2nd, maybe the 1st, maybe.
And let me be honest with you. Think about this. Eagles have not been great.
And they haven't been great. So when you put all that in the same pot of gumbo.
Well, let me finish. The Eagles haven't been great with extra time to prepare.
That part too. Whenever they had extra time to prepare.
10 days to prepare for the Chargers, and we did that.
All that time to prepare for the Giants, and they did that, remember? So, or was it? No, who was it? It wasn't the Giants. It was who did they lose to when they had extra time?
Chargers. That was the 10-day. That was the 10-day mini break.
It was Chargers and it was somebody else. It was Chargers. I can't quite remember. Nonetheless, though, you put all that in the same pot of gumbo. I don't think they're in a bad spot when you zoom out.
No. And if we do have to travel, nobody wants to play us. There's no scenario, regardless of our seeding, which team is head and shoulders better than us.
Right. And honestly, you have a chance at best or at worst, you could probably get 2 consecutive home games at worst. And depending if the Rams fold in the playoffs, you can get home field advantage straight through again.
Yep. It's possible.
And we've seen this team win the Super Bowl, make it to the Super Bowl, and win the Super Bowl in a wild card spot. Because even if you're the 2nd seed, you play in the wild card round. So we've seen this team win 4 straight to hoist that Lombardi. We've seen it. So if they can continue to build on what they've done offensively, again,
correct.
Execution, because it's not about talent, it's execution. if you tighten up your execution like you did against the Raiders, if you can carry that over, because you got some games where you can definitely tighten it up. You got Washington twice, and they officially shut down Jaden Daniels for the year, like I expected, or like they should have done weeks ago. You basically got 2 games that you can continue to get right in and iron out the wrinkles. The Bills is going to be the toughest competition over this next stretch.
Agreed.
And again, the Bills are a good team, more so led by a great quarterback.
Who can get got,
but also has it in them to come back if you let them get cooking. But the Eagles defense is playing at a very high level right now. And I trust our secondary much more than that Patriots secondary.
Yep.
I trust our linebacker core more than that Patriots linebacker core. I trust our D line more than that Patriots D line, frankly. And the Patriots don't have a bad defense. They got a good defense, actually.
Right.
So I don't want that to get misconstrued. The Patriots got a good defense. I just like the Eagles defense more. So
I need to see one more game. Obviously,
they're in a good spot. Of course,
we got 3. We got 3 more, but I don't need to see another domination game like we just saw. I don't need to see that. That would be nice, but what I need to see is the defense keep a team under 10 points. If they get the goose egg, that's gravy.
Mm-hmm.
But keep them under 10 points. Offense got to score over 21.
Yeah, and again, I want to make sure I make it clear. I didn't say the Patriots have a bad defense. I said I like ours more.
Correct.
I like the ceiling of our defense more than theirs. That doesn't mean that I know what the Patriots have done. I want to make that very clear. I know what they've done. I just think our ceiling is higher when we're clicking on all cylinders versus them.
I agree.
That's my opinion, though. So, my bad, Marcus. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you 100%, man. All they got to do, like we've been saying, this is not anything new. There's no new twists, turns. There's nothing, no new revelations. It's all the same. Take care of your business at hand. Take care of the team in front of you. If they're not as good as you, don't treat them like they are. Execution. Win on the line of scrimmage. Win in the trenches. That's it. Nothing changes. The formula never changes. We just got to make sure we got the right folks cooking.
I agree, man. They're in the sweet spot. This defense can continue to build, and I like where they're trending. Defense again, shut out. I gotta show love to that D line once again. Jordan Davis, bro. Jordan Davis, man. They picked up their option. His price is just continuing to go up.
Rising.
Just continue to go up. Moro Jomo, great game. BG, great game. Byron Young had a good game. Byron Young, I told people about the Byron Young stock. Did I not?
Byron Young has been balling.
I've been telling people when the Eagles went and traded for Byron Young before the season started last year, before the 2024 season started, they traded for him. I said, listen, there's a reason they didn't let Byron Young go to their practice squad. They kept him on the roster, and he went to every game in gym shorts.
He is paying dividends.
He was never active because they were so deep on the line. I told people, I said, the Byron Young stock, that's what you got to buy into. It was 2 players I said buy into. It was the Byron Young stock, and it was the Thomas Booker, the 4th stock.
Right.
Now, granted, Thomas Booker, the 4th, he got traded. That was what it was. And I said, you don't trade that man unless you believe either Byron Young or Gabe Hall are going to elevate.
What you got behind you is going to work.
Right. And I told
once
people,
again, Howie once again.
Yeah. And I said to people, their deepest position was D tackle on defense, in my opinion. That's their deepest position. And it's been showing that. We've been without Jalen Carter. How many games this year? This would be what, game 3, game 4?
3 or 4, yeah, 4.
Something like that. And Jordan Davis has stepped up. Moro Jomo has stepped up. Byron Young has stepped up. I said, Byron Young, they're keeping him on his roster for a reason because he's a talented brother. He went to Alabama, right? For some reason, things didn't work out with the Raiders. It was what it was. They got rid of him after 1 season. He didn't even play. He barely played. So you get in a situation where you're playing with guys that's talented, of your ilk, from the SEC. You know, iron sharpens iron, And Byron Young has beat out Ty Robinson.
Yeah.
He beat out Ty Robinson.
Yeah.
Not saying Ty Robinson is bad. Not saying he's bad, but it just shows you that
Dude, it's the same situation with
call.
It's the same situation with Jihad and Nakobe.
Yes.
Because Jihad was balling when he was playing.
He was. Then Nakobe came back.
Nakobe has been out of this friggin' world.
Yes. And Nakobe's first game, all he did was play special teams his first game. Then his snaps started going up. Jihad's snaps started going down. Not saying Jihad has been bad, but when you got a guy like Nakobe who has the experience, who's been playing who played next to Zach Bond and understands all the nuances to each other's games, and who can be as, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think Nakobe may be stronger than Jihad today. The way Nakobe pops, the way Nakobe, I've never. He has a trademark now. If he's coming down that A gap, just tell your running back to move. Just tell
the quarterback blowed up.
Just tell your running back to move. I've seen Vic Fangio is loving what he's saying. We've seen Vic Fangio dial it up on more than one occasion, several games in a row. Tell your running back to just move, because when Nakobe did, he's not even trying to get by you. He's going through your chest.
He's snapping some heads. That's the damn
phenomenal. Show. Every time he hits you, you just see the running back head just snap back. You just see it. And when you're a quarterback and you just see a linebacker just blow up your running back like that, instinctually you just want to get out of there. You just want to get out of there. I think when Nakobe did that against the Raiders, he ran right into the BG sack, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Nakobe is when he blitzes that A gap, and again, this is not saying Jihad has been a very solid rookie. Jihad is going to be fantastic. But
you can't stop what Nakobe Dean is doing. You can't take him off the field. You can't.
He's playing too well.
Good. You just know you don't. He's playing that well. He's playing that well. That's the problem. That's the kind of problems you want. Because Jihad was balling. Jihad wasn't scrubbing. He was balling.
Yeah.
And Nakobe came in there and was just like, y'all must have forgot.
He said, hold my beer.
Y'all must have forgot who I was, man. Let me send y'all a little reminder.
Full disclosure, man. I said, look, it's going to be interesting when Nakobe gets healthy, because Jihad, if he's playing well, do you take him off the field? And obviously, if he's playing well, you don't. But when Nakobe was getting his spots, and you see Nakobe just doing what he's doing, you see the difference. There is a difference and I think this was an indictment on Jihad Campbell coming out of college, and he's a young player, so I don't want people to think I'm dogging him right now. He's a young player. He's going to be fantastic. But Jihad coming out of college, one of the knocks on his game, with all that talent and athleticism he has, one of the knocks that I read and that showed up on different occasions, there is a slight hitch in his game in the play action. His play recognition isn't as quick as Nakobe's. And we're talking about fractions of a second, which is everything in the NFL. So that's a big deal. Again, I'm going off of what they said, and sometimes what it looks like. It seems like whether it's run or pass, he would have that tick of a hesitation. Whereas on Nakobe's instincts, his IQ is just the experience. The experience
is through the roof at this point.
The experience is through the roof.
Nakobe, the last 3 games, Nakobe has been in the zone back there. He's seeing things before it happens, and he's making plays. Just how they sending them, how they're using them. And by the way, he showed you that he can run with some of the best. So,
did you see him tackle? Who was that he tackled in the open field? Was it Brock Bowers or was it Genty?
Yes.
He was by himself.
It was Bowers. Big body.
He tackles. He's been healthy. Like he once he got healthy, he ain't left the field. He ain't got the miles on his body because he's been chilling. So his in my opinion, I think he's just hitting his stride. He's just hitting his stride, and the playoffs about to start.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we want. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing, man.
Perfect timing, bro.
Perfect timing. Obviously, Quayon and Coop, they're always lights out. Reed Blankenship didn't have a bad game at all. Cooper Jean had a he had a couple moments with Tyler Lockett that he had to tighten up. But other than that, the defenses played well. Like that game was one of the trenches.
Yes,
that game was one of the trenches, especially by the defense. And there's no other way to spin it. So there's no other way to spin it. But I told you about this Cowboys, didn't I? I told you about them, didn't I?
You called it.
I said, listen, I understand the Cowboys have an explosive offense, but that Vikings team will catch him. They gonna catch him lacking. They caught him lacking. Oh, by the way, Adoree Jackson's been playing well the past few games.
Adoree Jackson has been earning his stripes.
He stabilized the position.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. When the game slowed down for him, he didn't have to think in this new scheme, in this new system. He knows where he's supposed to be, and he's there. That's all you can ask for.
The fact that Vic Fangio, shout out to Green Wingman for reminding me of this. He called him Adoree the Survivor Jackson. That's what Fangio called him. But Fangio, his perspective is hilarious, man. He said he's a survivor.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, bro.
That's such a honest yet poignant way of putting it. This season has not been kind to Adoree. With injuries and the constant shuffling of the rotation.
And let's face it, he didn't look very good early.
And he just flat out didn't look good. He did
not look very good early.
Yeah. And all he's done is just overcome. And the experience is showing.
He is paying dividends quite well. Quite well.
There's a chance this Eagles team is about to hit the stride.
At the right time.
And they have the playoff experience and the talent and the defense to beat anybody in this league.
Nobody wants to see us.
In any location.
Nobody wants to come to Philly, and they damn sure don't want us to come there because we travel well. So, good luck.
He said, "Good luck." Let's get to some of these super chats. They're starting to pile up a little bit. Let's get to these, man. Shout out to you guys. You guys have been phenomenal.
24 birds as usual, man. Hitting
24 birds, man, like clockwork. Shout out to you, man.
People say we beat just the Raiders to forget to mention that in both games we beat them by combined 10 points. Jacksonville beat them by 1 point while we won by 31. I mean, yes, you're not wrong.
Those are facts. Look, I'm not going to say that it's just the Raiders, but I'm also going to acknowledge who they've been, and it's important for you as if you're going to go where we expect you to go, you got to do what you did to that team or teams like that. Whatever you did to the Raiders, when you face teams that are lesser than you, you got to do that. And I'm not saying shut them out every game. That's not really a possible thing to shut teams out consistently. The Raiders are just that bad. But you have to make teams that are inferior look inferior. Simple as that. So shout out to Darth Panda, man. I really do appreciate you. Let's get to the next super chat. See what we got. Werv. Let's see here.
Press conference about perceived pressure.
That was funny.
That was very funny.
He was like, well, the root word in perception is perceive, like to. So because they was trying to get him to say something else. Yeah. And he was just like,
not the first time that he's hit him up with the English lesson.
He was like, you're answering your own question, and basically is what he's saying.
Correct.
And then when he was like, what he say? I don't watch it. I'm living it. Whatever he said. Living it. But then he corrected himself. Said, doing it.
Yeah, doing it.
Yeah.
Perceive your perception.
Right.
Bars.
He's
thank you, Warv.
Yeah, shout out to Warv, man. Really do appreciate you, man. Green Wingman with the $10.
If the Eagles can get number 1 seed, There is always comfort in sleeping in your own bed and sticking with your routine. Hey, you get no argument from me.
Yeah, but you can get home games with the second seed too. We seen that happen.
Yeah.
We
But I
literally
understand. I understand his
literally
point.
expressed
I
that.
understand his
No,
point.
I get his point too, but I don't want this team with extra rest personally. I don't
Nothing wrong with locking it up as soon as possible.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with
yeah. But I'm gonna be honest. I don't think this team needs a week off. They need momentum.
Correct.
They need momentum in particular.
Correct.
So I don't want this team getting a week off because what happened was when they was hitting their stride offensively, they went on their bye week, and what happened? Offense just went flat, defense elevated. So I don't need this team getting a week off. They need to continue to stack and they
Get to it.
And they need to stay on their fucking toes.
Yep. Get to it. No more bull jabbing.
Yeah, Kakakorski, you asked me this earlier. He said, "Hey Tone, how long do you think Mahomes is out for next year?" Mahomes not coming back until like November. He's not gonna be back until maybe November, and that's if he's lucky.
Yeah, you got to look at least eight months rehab plus the mentals has got to be right.
He's not gonna be back probably this time next year, and that's even if they're in playoff contention. We'll see. No, knowing them because of who he is, and there's a chance he may have just lost the season.
They're gonna try.
Of course they're gonna try. He's gonna try to get back. With this technology these days, guys come back, ahead of schedule, so it happens. But it happened in mid-December. It happened December 14th. He pushing it. He's lucky if he'll be lucky if he come back October. He's lucky.
Nah, they'll just have to figure it out, and they'll have to live in the jungle just like everybody else when they ain't got a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Man, what a way for their season! What a way for their season to end.
Yeah, that sucks. But
knocked out the playoffs, and Mahomes done.
And it looks like
God knows how long.
Travis Kelce won't be back next year.
I mean,
it's looking more and more like he is going to shut it down.
People haven't talked about this much. The Chiefs didn't want him to come back.
They really did. I don't believe that.
Here's why I don't think so. I think they saw the writing on the wall in terms of where he was going from a career perspective. And by him opting in, that's more money that you could have delegated somewhere else. I think, of course he is who he is, so you want to believe you're better with him. But I think deep down, they wanted him to just ride off. That was the original plan. But because they lost, it was like, fuck. All right, he's probably going to come back, and they're not going to tell him no.
They're not going to tell him no, and I think.
But I think if they had it their way, he would not be here this year.
He was dropping plays that he normally makes, and what I saw from him, looking at the body language, looking at the facials, all of that type of stuff,
bro, he looks.
He looks like he is not enjoying it. And when it's not fun anymore, it's time to bounce. Because here's the other thing. Travis Kelce can walk away from the game. The game didn't spit him out. Patrick Mahomes, that might be a wrap for him. And I'm saying that because you don't know how he's going to respond to a knee injury like that.
Exactly. He's a guy who's Patrick Mahomes is 30 years old, by the way.
Yeah.
He's 30, and look, he's still Mahomes. The talent is the talent. But we've been seeing he's been carrying a lot for this team. And we're going to get to your super chat, Dagger. We didn't forget. But Mahomes, he's been carrying his team this year. Let's call it what it is. He's been carrying them. And even in doing so, he hasn't really been as sharp as we're used to seeing him. To the point where people are saying Josh Allen's better than him now. And one may have an argument there, but I mean, the legacy is still the legacy. You can't. Allen's accolades don't even sniff Mahomes's from a career perspective. But Mahomes, and I'm not saying he doesn't have it anymore. There's been his game has not been what we're used to seeing it be.
No, and some of that is because of the skill positions.
The skill position, they've been dealing with injuries at a receiver. The no running game, by the way.
Yeah, you don't have Tyreek Hill taking the top off anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and they still managed to win 2 more Super Bowls without Tyreek Hill. So, you know, we'll see. But 30 years old, that ACL, and also he's a guy that likes to get mobile. He likes to get mobile.
I'm sure he liked to do a lot of things, but catching the ball and he's just making too many mistakes that he didn't do, and that's when Father Time is undefeated, man.
Yeah, we sure will see. But I'll tell you what, though, regardless, they're gonna probably have a top 10 pick if he don't play next year, and maybe top 12. They're still well coached, but if you ain't got the quarterback, it don't really make a difference. Where were we? Oh yeah, Dagger super chat. He says codeine is the reason Campbell will win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yep,
and it's not the worst thing for the Eagles. Crazy enough.
No, not at all. The Kobe Dean just took all of them reps back, and he was so good that they couldn't keep swapping him out.
And he proved that what he did last year wasn't a fluke either.
Correct. And Jahad Campbell is proven he is the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they're gonna do with all them linebackers. Maybe they'll go to a 4-3 or a 4-4. Who knows? But we got to have some packages where everybody, Zach Bond, the Kobe Dean, Jahad Campbell are all on the field at the same time.
Yeah, I think Jahad Campbell has to. He didn't make the impact that I thought he would make on the edge. When the Kobe Dean came back, because you saw them trying to put him out there, and he didn't have that same impact versus when he was at the mic or at inside linebacker next to Zach.
It makes a difference, man. Did you see what happened with Max Crosby and Devin White?
I think I overlooked it.
Devin White jumped inside. The play goes outside. We get a good gain, and Max Crosby is arguing with Devin White, basically saying like, "Yo, you got contained, bro. Stay inside and get contained.
Mm-hmm.
Do your job." Trying to be hero, and you know how that goes.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Drew Tranquil Chris Jones play in week 1. You know, when Chris Jones tried to be a hero and he exposed Drew Tranquil, and Drew was like, "Yo, you're not supposed to even be right here. What are you doing?" So, it is interesting nonetheless, but I think a clear signifier that it was a clear indicator when they traded for Jalen Phillips that Jahad Campbell isn't quite ready to be that edge guy they thought he could be.
No, and I don't think that I think they knew that. I think the reason why they used him was because he was so versatile when he was in college.
Yeah, and of course you got to find out. You got to find out.
They made the best of it. They saw what they needed to see. And they realized he's a better outside linebacker than he is defensive end.
Right. And Jalen Phillips did what he did. You saw that there is a difference.
Yeah. And he's about what, 30 pounds lighter than
Jahad. Yeah, Jahad is way lighter than him. Also, you know, remember when Jahad went to Alabama, he was an edge, but he moved to off-ball linebacker because they had Will Anderson. So he was a top recruit as an edge, but when you play that inside or when you play that off-ball linebacker so long, and you at that point now you're transforming your body to fit that and your skills to fit that. It's just a different ball game, right? You know, being sent as a blitzer is entirely different than standing on the edge. Hands, stand up position and just flying and saying, "Oh, hey, go beat this left tackle or go beat this right tackle." Very different than being sent as a blitzer. So, I think Jahad is going to be fine in the end. He's a talented player that you have on your roster for the next 4 years, cost control. So it's nothing to stress about in that regard. He's going to get better. I think he has to get stronger, and I think he has to add some more moves because you saw him kind of getting swallowed up by right tackles whenever he couldn't really get through with that first move. So overall he'll be fine. I think I think the Kobe obviously.
He playing lights out, man.
He's just
leave him alone.
You can't question it.
Nah, you can't.
You can't. What's the next super chat? Justin Long with the $5 super chat says, fellas, do y'all think when Carter comes back, we should put him on the edge since BG, Morrow, and JD look really solid at the D-tackle position? No. I think when Jalen Carter comes back, he's going to play exactly where he's supposed to play at. Not saying he can't be versatile and move around, but when Jalen Carter comes back, he's going to be exactly where he's supposed to be. So let's not get cute, right? We know JD's playing very well. Morrow is playing well. BG had a moment.
The whole line.
But let's not get cute. Jalen Carter still like that.
Correct.
And we know Jalen Carter, when he turned up in the playoffs, like, I expect nothing less. He's going to be fresh. That shoulder going to be right. He's been nursing it all year long. Legs going to be fresh. Shoulder going to be right. I think Jalen Carter going to be ready to come out like gangbusters. You're going to get Lane Johnson back for the playoffs. And that brings me to another point somebody brought. They said, Tone, we may have to overhaul our offensive line over the offseason. And I think overhaul is a bit of a stretch. I think guys got to get healthy. I think if anything, you got to start planning for that right side. Yeah. Because Tyler Steen, we like him, but is he the long-term future? Oof. We don't quite know. We don't know. I don't think he's done anything to cement that position for himself next year.
No, I think we might be looking for his replacement.
So in my opinion, I think the right side of that line definitely needs a future beyond what they currently have. Because I think this is Lane Johnson's last year. I agree. He's not going to put himself through this physically again. He's not.
He reminds me of what Slay was. Every time he gets on the field, he's coming off limping.
Exactly.
Now, when he's healthy, he's one of the best in the business. But you got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy.
Exactly.
And sometimes it happens. You ain't have no control over it.
Yep. I think Cam because Cam was a Pro Bowler. I'm not going to pretend like that didn't happen. Have I been kicking his ass this year? Yes. But rightfully so. Cam's got to get healthy. He can play. Flat out. He can play.
Yeah.
Landon Dickerson, 3-time consecutive Pro Bowler. That's not even a question. He can play. Have we been kicking his ass this year? Sure. But he's been better than Cam.
Facts.
Jordan Mailata, he hasn't had his best year. He's been inconsistent, if you ask me. Granted, he's been their best offensive lineman, but that's not saying much when they're all inconsistent. So I think
Jordan's size makes his whatever shortcomings he has, his sheer size makes up for that.
Yeah. So I think overall, this offensive line doesn't necessarily need an overhaul. They got to get younger at right tackle.
Got to tweak it.
And Tyler Steen hasn't cemented that right guard spot. He has to prove that he's hit. I think once this offseason comes and we get into training camp, he got to prove it all over again, if you ask me.
Look for Howie to make a lot of moves.
Now, can he get better? Yeah, he can get better. But that all remains to be seen. As of right now, that right guard spot is not his. He's just holding it over because there's nothing better on the roster. But right tackle, that's where you really got to invest. Look for Howie to go offensive lineman in the first couple rounds. Look for that.
Yep.
He may go offensive lineman after what we saw this year. His first 3 picks could be offensive lineman.
Could be.
It's entirely possible. Like this season was the writing on the wall where your offensive line lacked depth and you lacked, in my opinion, you lacked power on the interior this season. You lacked power.
All right.
Peter Riley, fellas, y'all keep up the great work.
Thank you very much.
All right. What else we got so we can close the show out?
Word.
If we lock in that 3 seed, that last week they're going to rest starters. It's possible.
Maybe.
It's very possible.
Maybe. With JD's emergence, do we keep him over Carter?
Watch this. They're going to find a way to keep both.
I hope they do.
Watch.
I hope they do.
Watch. They're going to find a way to keep both. They're not letting them walk. First of all, they picked up JD's option, which tells me they got every intention of paying him.
I agree. They're going to find a way. Oh, and don't forget, the salary cap goes up again.
It goes up again. And they still got time to figure out Quinion and Cooper long term. They're not letting them go either. It's just certain guys you just don't let walk. You can't let certain guys walk. Oh, yeah, those are some pretty
Vampire Hunter D is fire.
I heard it was okay. Heard it was a good anime.
Yeah, Vampire Hunter, classic 80s style anime, really good, really gothic story. I like it. You know what the funny part is? I haven't watched the sequel in its entirety yet, and I from what I've seen, I've really liked it, but I haven't had a chance to just sit down and watch the whole sequel. And Wicked City, man, that's yeah, we gonna leave that one alone, bro. Oh my God, Bond having another under the radar All Pro season that works for me. Keep
Bro,
him all the way underneath the radar as much as you want. As long as that man steps on the field and balls like the way
he may be a second team All Pro this year. It's possible.
He might be, yeah. He might be.
What else we got? Dagger, nickel 3-3-5 defense finna go crazy next year.
We'll see. I don't know what Vic is going to change, keep, or whatever. Did y'all see Nolan shed that chip block and pancake the tackle all in one motion? Yes. Nolan Smith is a absolute missile.
Another guy.
But the bad part of that is that's why he hurt himself a couple times. Because he is reckless with his body because he is coming in there to hurt, maim, and destroy. So, and he put some licks on people, but when you're that big, that's why you always popping his shoulder out, man. He got them little joints. So
he's violent, man.
Yeah, he's a violent off that line of scrimmage, bro. So, all right, man. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so. And on that note, let's close this thing out, man. It's been a phenomenal show as always. You guys have been fantastic. We definitely don't take y'all for granted, man. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you subscribe to Chalk It Up Sports. Marcus, any final words, man?
Nah, man. Let's be about the business. Eagles got the momentum now. All they got to do is keep it.
Yeah, you're right about that. On that note, y'all know how we give it up here, man. Y'all know where our Baldies be. He's Marcus Thomas. I'm Tony Schultz II. This has been the Bald Eagles Podcast. This flag was fly.
Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Fly guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by.